Looks like we do have a quorum, so we're in good shape. And if will someone make a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last meeting? I guess. Yeah. We'll do that. And you'll call roll first? All right.
Senator Girdler.
Here.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Webb. Representative Herron.
Here.
Representative Petrie.
Here.
Representative Thomas.
Present.
Co-Chair Howell. Chair Freeland.
Here. Representative Thomas already made a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right. Get a second. All right. Representative Herron, second. Okay. And Catherine, if you would, you can read over the information items.
Pursuant to KRS 45760 sub 5, the University of Kentucky reported two equipment purchases totaling close to $3.4 million. A $3.3 million BD Kester work cell lab automation system purchased with restricted funds for use by UK Healthcare's clinical microbiology laboratory at UK Chandler Hospital, and a $349,000 Nikon TI2 microscope and AXR confocal upgrade for use by the Markey Cancer Center at Healthy Kentucky Research Building. The TI2 and AXR upgrade were purchased with $252,000 in federal funds, which were National Institute of General Medical Sciences grant funds, and $97,000 in restricted funds. Pursuant to KRS 45810 sub 6, the Office of Financial Management submitted the annual report of outstanding debt on behalf of state entities, including post-secondary institutions authorized to issue debt. Pursuant to KRS 85812 sub 1, 3 school districts, none of which needed an additional tax levy to pay debt service, reported upcoming debt issues for new projects through their fiscal agents. The school districts were Barron County, Campbell County, and Warren County. Pursuant to KRS 48116A, the Division of Real Properties retransmitted its advertisement for Cabinet for Health and Family Services space in Bullock County. Finally, the School Facilities Construction Commission reported 15 school district debt issues with SFCC debt service participation from May through October. The issuance amount was around $269 million for new projects, about 95% with locally supported debt service, and about 5% with SFCC debt service participation.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. I believe Janice is here in person today. She can make her way up to the desk. We'll go ahead and there's 3 action items and a few information items. If someone would make a motion, we can roll those 3 into one vote. Senator Girdler, and I'll second that. Hey, Janice. All right. Whenever you are ready, you can proceed with the action items.
Do I need to start over? I can start over if you like.
No,
I'm good.
That's your
okay. And then there's 4 pool allocation projects. We'll start with the first new projects. There are 3. First is the Education and Labor Cabinet Office of Unemployment Insurance UI Connect mobile vehicle purchase in the amount of $500,000, funded with 100% U.S. Department Labor Employment Training Administration federal grant funds for emergency response, which allows Kentucky Office of Unemployment Insurance to regularly travel to designated areas to assist underserved communities and disaster recovery areas with all direct and related unemployment services. The unit would be equipped with a generator and a mobile lab unit, computer lab for internet access. It will act as a mobile career center to assist with filing UI claims and setup of identity verification, request biweekly benefit payments, completes eligibility review, resets PINs, allows them to change email addresses, addresses. So it provides services mobily in case there's a disaster or underserved areas. The cited authority is pursuant to KRS 45760 sub 7 and your approval is respectfully requested. Did you roll these? Thank you. So I'll move on to the next two.
Go ahead.
Next is the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Fish and Wildlife construction of 2 new buildings on Department of Fish and Wildlife Resource Headquarters campus located in Frankfort, known as the Game Farm on US 60, to which your approval is requested on these two as well. The Lakes and Streams Branch Building Project is $1,716,200, funded with 75% federal funds and 25% agency fish and game funds. The federal fund source is the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife Dingell-Johnson Sports Fish Restoration Act. This project will allow for construction of a new building at number 1 Sportsman Lane in Frankfort, Kentucky, to be used for infrastructure development projects and will include areas for equipment maintenance, equipment storage, and office space. The space currently occupied by the Lakes and Streams branch does not provide the adequate space to store all the equipment. Second project for Fish and Wildlife is the Critical Species Investigation Building Project in the amount of $1,602,300, funded 100% from U.S. Department Fish and Wildlife Non-Indigenous Aquatic Nuisance Prevention and Control Act. This project will allow for construction of a new building. The building will be used for resource conservation activities, include areas for equipment maintenance, equipment storage, and office space. Critical Species is a new program, and staff are currently housed in the rented space and storage area that will accommodate only 1 boat. The project has multiple boats fitted with electrical equipment that need to be stored in dry areas. And with that, Chairman, I request approval of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Does anyone have any questions? All right, seeing none, if someone make a motion in a second. All right, we got that. If you would, you can call the roll.
Senator Girdler,
Aye.
Senator McDaniel, Senator Webb, Representative Herron, Representative Petrie, Representative Thomas,
Aye.
Co-Chair Howell, Chair Freeman.
Yes.
Freeland, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm used to that. Thank you. Thank you, Janice. And if you want to, you can continue with your information items.
Thank you, and thank you, committee, for your approval on the previous 3. Next is the research equipment purchase for the Energy and Environment Cabinet, Department of Environmental Protection, triple, quadruple liquid chromatograph mass spectrometer in the amount of $250,000, funded 100% federal funds from the Performance Partnership Grant. The Department for Environmental Protection will use this lab equipment to perform analysis on various soil and water samples collected in the department. The department will focus the use on identifying contaminants of polyfluoroalkyl substance particulates known as PFAS, which is an emerging contaminant that can adversely affect human health. The authority for the purchase of research equipment is pursuant to KRS 45-760 sub 5. Okay.
No.
If you like, I'll proceed. I just didn't know if how you wanted to.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't know if there was a question, but okay.
Okay,
Go right
thank
ahead.
you. Next are 2 emergency repair, maintenance, or replacement projects for the Kentucky Community and Technical College system. They are the Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College and the Hazard Community Technical College, funded with insurance proceeds, and the authority is pursuant to 45-750 sub 1G. The emergency building repairs at Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College project is $3.1 million. This project will restore 2 facilities that were damaged in the July 22 major flood event. The Belinda Mason Building and the Cottle Hall, located in Whitesburg. These 2 facilities were flooded with between 4 to 5 feet of water, causing major damage that must be repaired to restore the building to its intended use. KCTCS is working in partnership with Kentucky Emergency Management, Finance Facilities, and State Risk on this project, and it will be reimbursed with insurance proceeds. Next is the emergency building repairs at Hazard Community and Technical College in the amount of $7.5 million. This project will restore 2 facilities that were damaged in the flood, the School of Craft and the Opportunity Center, located in Heinemann. These 2 facilities were flooded, same 3 to 5 feet, causing major damage, and this funding will help restore to get back to the intended use of the buildings. And then finally, there are pool projects in excess of $1 million. The first is an appropriation in the amount of $4,693,500 from the bond-funded 2022 State Schools HVAC pool to the Kentucky School for the Deaf HVAC project in Bull County. This project will consist of installing 2 new HVAC rooftop units on the Thomas Hall gym and pool, along with new electrical gear and transformer to support the unit's electrical requirements. The Thomas Hall gymnasium and pool facility currently has no air conditioning, and this project will provide both heating and air to the building. The original chiller in Kerr Hall will be replaced with a new outdoor air-cooled chiller, and new closed-circuit evaporator cooler will be installed in Brady Hall for the closed-loop water sources. The buildings on the campus are 30 to 50 years old, with the existing HVACs that have been repaired over the years. The next 3 projects are from the Fish and Wildlife Fee in lieu of stream mitigation pool projects. The first of those is an appropriation in the amount of $4.9 million from the Department of Fish and Wildlife Fee in lieu stream mitigation pool to the Steep Creek project in Boone County. This project will restore and protect over 20,000 linear feet of stream in northern Kentucky service area. Next is an appropriation in the amount of $6.7 million from the Department of Fish and Wildlife Fees in lieu stream mitigation pool to the Broke Leg Creek project in Morgan County. This project will restore and protect over 35,000 linear feet of stream in the Upper Licking River service area. And last is an appropriation in the amount of $13 million from the Department of Fish and Wildlife for the Mill Creek project in Jefferson County. This project will restore and protect over 64,300 linear feet of stream in the Salt River service area. And that concludes my presentation today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Janice. Does anyone have any questions? Senator Daniel?
And this is probably, Janice just happens to be sitting here and she reported on the UI van piece, so probably more of a staff-related question. Whenever they get the IT vendor together for the new system, does that come to capital projects or does that go to contract review? Gotcha. So there's no more reporting to this committee on that.
On the quarterly basis, it'll report the construction as stated. That are transmitted by agencies. So it'll be expenditures annually and projects status quarterly.
Gotcha. All right. That's just going to be something, guys, that I want to talk to UI about soon, about where we're at on this new vendor after the issue with the last one. We've got to get this system up and running.
Sure. Noted.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Catherine.
Thank you, Janice.
Oh, thank you.
I believe action item number 6, Scott Aubrey is here in person today. So, oh, he is remote. Okay. All right. There he is.
Hello, Mr. Chair.
Hey, Scott, you've got one action item. Is that correct? Looks like that's the case, so we don't have to vote to roll anything in, so you can go ahead and proceed.
All right. The first item I have to report today is that for the Education Labor Cabinet in Fayette County. The agency submitted a space request to be co-housed with the Bluegrass Area Development District. As a result, a new lease was entered into for 4,053 square feet at a cost of $28.36 per square foot for a total annual cost of $114,943.08. And this lease is set to expire June 30th of 2029.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we can go ahead and motion. Can I get a second? No. Chairman McDaniel. All right. You can go ahead and call the roll.
Senator Gardler.
Aye.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Webb. Representative Herron. I'm sorry, Representative Petrie. Representative Thomas. Co-Chair Howell. Co-Chair Freeland.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, Scott, you have one more item that's a non-action item, so.
The next item I have is a lease for the transportation cabinet in Perry County. This lease is for the temporary use of approximately 5 acres to store debris caused by the recent flooding in eastern Kentucky. Only tree and brush debris will be stored in this location. The term of this lease is month to month at a cost of $500 per acre per month.
And I apologize, you actually had two more items, so go ahead.
Yes, sir. And the last item I have is a lease modification for the Education Labor Cabinet in Fayette County. This lease is being modified to change agency occupancy of the space from the Cabinet for Health and Family Services to the Education Labor Cabinet and to amortize $49,999 in leasehold improvements to meet the new agency's programmatic needs. The lease modification will consolidate their hearing function with and provide office space for their administrative law judges and support staff. Two estimates were obtained in the amounts of $55,729 from Area Lex Real Estate and $74,468 from Elaine Allen LLC. The low bid submitted by Area Lex Real Estate was selected. However, the owner has offered to absorb $5,730 worth of the low estimate to expedite occupancy of the facility. This cost will be amortized through the current lease term that expires June 30th of 2028.
All right, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that and that report.
Thank you,
Any
Mr.
questions? All right, seeing none, thank you again. I believe Sandy is with us remotely, and she's got a report from the Office of Financial Management, and she does have 4 action items. So for clean water projects, reallocations, so if we can roll those 4 into one vote, we can get a motion in a second. Got a motion? Motion and a second. All right. Sandy, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
Thank you, Chairman Freeland and members of the committee. I'm Sandy Williams, Executive Director with the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority. Pursuant to KRS 224A-100, the authority is submitting 4 Cleaner Water Program grant-funded projects for the committee's review. Of the 4 reallocation projects, 3 are projects from the county allocation pool, and 1 is a project funded from the unserved drinking water pool. And I'm happy to report except for a few remaining reallocation requests, all of the round 1 projects have been presented to the committee. And next month, we will start sending the round 2 projects for your review. There are currently over 400 of those. So we may be sending them over several months. And just to let you know, we expect about 850 total grants from both rounds of funding when all of the funds are allocated.
All right. Well, thank you, Sandy. And we've already had a motion and a second to roll those votes. Any questions? All right. Seeing none, if you want to call the roll.
Senator Girdler.
Aye.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Webb. Representative Herron. Representative Petrie. Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Co-Chair Howell. Chair Freeland.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Those were approved.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate the visit. And I believe Ryan Barrow is with us in person. So it's good to see you, Ryan, the Executive Director of Office of Financial Management. And Ryan always has several things to roll in, but today you've got 7 to previous debt issues to roll into one vote.
He doesn't need
Those. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are just information. All right. Please
Yes, if I
proceed,
may,
Ryan.
just start with a couple of previously issued bond transactions. First to report is State Property and Buildings Commission. These were securitizations and funding of general fund projects over various budget bills, $255 million in proceeds. I do want to mention with this priced September 8th, due to recent declines in rates, we're almost back to the rates that when we priced that day. I can't remember the last time. We've had several days of drop in rates. In last 2 weeks, we've dropped almost 0.5%, 50 basis points. We're still up over 2% since the beginning of the year, but it's kind of the first positive news on the rate trends that we've seen. The transaction at that time produced a tick of 4.14%. It was negotiated with Citigroup, and there's additional information in the packet about the transaction. The second transaction is for the University of Kentucky. This was a taxable series refunding. It was issued originally at taxable. It's not often that in my industry popular vernacular enters in, but these are called Cinderella bonds. The first issuance of these in the Commonwealth or agency that I'm aware of. They start off at taxable, and because it was a bank transaction, we were able to lock in rates, and there's a forward delivery of tax-exempt bonds in the future, which is, we always want to price tax-exempt bonds. That produced savings of about 8.6% on a net present value basis, $6.5 million. So even though rates have increased, this structure allowed savings to be extracted from a prior refunding. The true interest cost on that transaction was roughly 3.4%, and it priced in October for $75.6 million. And the winning bidder was Truist. The final transaction to report on is the 2022 series Turnpike bonds, Turnpike Authority of Kentucky. This actually exhausts House Bill 3 of the 2010 extraordinary session. So that is no more a buoy, no more authorized but issued in any budget bill for Turnpike. I don't think we'll ever say that for general fund. Don't think we'll ever say that for agency fund. And recently, the last budget bill authorized Garvey's. So this would be the one area where there is no more a buoy. It was basically the last $50 million authorized in that budget bill. It was priced $928, and it generates, or it's about $3.6 million in debt service payment with the true interest cost on that transaction at 4.354%. So the last item I do have is for approval, and that's the traditional school facilities transactions that have state participation, SFCC participation. The estimated par for the 7 transactions, they're all new money, they're all tax exempt, is about 4% or $5.3 million, with 96% being local supported, 126 estimated par of $126 million. I do want to make a couple of notes. The Bardstown Independent is a resubmission for change of scope. We've had a number of those recently. And the Johnson County transaction in 2019, September of 2019, there was an additional nickel. This is the first transaction that will be securitize that revenue stream for what they call phase 1 construction of a new high school. We do request approval, please.
All right. Before we vote on this, we do need to have a motion and a second to roll those 7 into one vote. Motion. And I'll second that. Any questions? Chairman Petrie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned a change of scope.
Yes, sir.
Who was it again?
Bardstown Independent was a change of scope.
Change of scope?
Yes.
Broadening or narrowing?
I actually did not bring that with me today. I apologize, but I will get back to you.
Is it an increase of money, decrease of money?
I will have to, I think I know what it is, but I'd rather get back to you with accurate information if that's okay.
Do we have any information on it whatsoever other than it's a change of scope?
Yes, SFCC has that information. I just don't have it with me today. Yes.
All right, thank you.
The scope is an increase. It's the increase of the local portion, not the SFCC portion. The local portion is going up. They are contributing $9.8 million rather than $6.8 million. And that project received a House Bill 556, $10 million local area vocational education center grant as well.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, so putting that in the context of a change of scope, I understand the change in the money. So is the project larger, more expensive, being narrowed?
SFCC said it wasn't an increase in expenses. It was an actual change to the project specs.
Thank you.
All right. We've already had a motion and a second. If there's no further questions, you can call the roll.
Senator Girdler,
Aye.
Senator McDaniel. Senator Webb. Representative Herron. Representative Petrie. Representative Thomas. Co-Chair Howell, Chair Freeland.
Yes. All right. I think that is all you have, Ryan. Thank you. All right. Well, that will do it for this meeting. We'll have our next meeting is scheduled for December 15th. So appreciate everyone being here and our presenters, and hope everyone has a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Thank you.